Hey there everybody, Stuart here with a quick message that I hope will help you boycott what you thought. Okay, I have a very short amount of time for me to do this before I have to run out to a meeting, so here we go. Alright, I wanted to give you kind of a top 10 list of things that I think will have a big impact on your life in 2018 if you do them. Now, a lot of people at this time of year, they're always coming up with New Year's resolutions, things that they're going to do differently, or things they're going to stop doing, or things they're going to do for the very first time. And all of that is great, and I encourage you to do that. However, for me, whenever I look into a new year, I always ask myself something different. I don't ask myself, what am I going to do new, or what am I going to stop doing, but rather, what am I going to keep doing? Because I realize that it's that consistency in my life that brings me great joy and brings me great success and brings me great health and everything else that's important to me in life. So here are the 10 things that I think you should consider doing, as they are things that I am going to keep doing in 2018. And if there's one of them that resonates with you, by all means, do more of it. All right, here we go. Number one, the first thing that I'm going to keep doing in 2018 is I'm going to keep creating new friendships. And for those of you watching this right now who are my friends, who think I'm breaking up with you, this is not my weird way of doing it. No, we are still friends. I'm still going to keep a lot of the friendships that I have. However, I'm not going to stop looking for new friendships because I genuinely understand the value that new friendships can have in my life. And most people don't realize that. They have these high school friends, these university friends, or they have whatever, people that they've known from work, and they say, well, I've got friends, this is my group of friends, and they don't actively seek new friendships as they go through each year, not understanding that it's these new friendships that are going to give you new ideas, or new opportunities, or new ways of looking at the world, or a new group of individuals that are out there who can support your dreams. So I strongly encourage you to make looking for new friendships part of your life, because when you keep looking to meet new people who are individuals that are going to push you to go further, you're the one who's getting engaged in pushing yourself further. So make new friendships. Okay, number two, the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to continuously make time for my family. Whether that's my children, my partner, or it's my parents, my brothers, their partners, whoever it may be, it's important that we actually carve out time for our family. Even some of those family members that we just don't like, all right, which might be your entire family in some cases. But when we make time for our family deliberately and not just wait for Easter or for Christmas or for Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate to happen, or Thanksgiving, you know, we have to make time for them on a weekly basis. So, and that might just be a phone call, it might just be an email, it might be spending time with those people, because it's that time that adds a lot of value to our lives, and it's that time that we will most often regret not spending if we don't do it when the day does come when that person is no longer around. You know, my daughter comes up to me all the time. She's like, Daddy, you want to run? Want to run? Want to run? And she'll keep on saying it about 50,000 times before I finally say yes. And you know, I can't tell you how often I find myself not wanting to run. You know, I've got work to do, or I want to read something, or I'm trying to get a text message out, or whatever it might be. And I realize that being asked to run, to just run around the house, is a true blessing. So people want to spend time with you in your family, make that time for them. It'll be something that you will be so glad that you did. Number three, reading. I am going to continue reading. I read every day, and I have a crazy busy life. I've got 2 young kids. I'm running a company. I'm traveling around the world as a speaker. So any of you who are watching this right now is thinking, oh, I don't have time to read. Bullshit. You do have time to read. You're just not making time to read. Do you know that the average Canadian reads only 1 book per 7 years? Every 7 years they read 1 book. That's a statistic, and that's true. In Iceland, I just read recently, apparently their population reads something like 6 to 8 books a year. So it's the reading that has a big impact on my life that I've found, and it'll have the same impact on yours. I read newspaper articles every day. I read op-eds every day. I read essays. I read stories. I read books if I can. I read something every single day. And it's that reading and committing to reading that has such a dramatically and positive impact on my life. Number 4, carving out time for introspection. That is something I am so going to keep doing in 2018. And a lot of people, what they're doing is they're waiting for the perfect time to just stop and be quiet, or the perfect time to journal, the perfect time to just think about the meaning of life. And it never comes. They're just too busy. I make sure that I put that time into my life, ideally every single week, where I will journal or I'll just sit quietly in my car or in a chair in my office, or I just think. I close my eyes and I just think. I think about life. I think about what the meaning is behind it. I think about what I'm doing with my life. I think about what's important. I think about where I want to spend more time. And just by stopping and thinking about that, it gives me direction. It gives me a sense of being centered. And so many people are going around so frantically and they're not thinking about these things. You got to carve out time for your life every single week. Maybe it's hard to do it every single day. You should try. But if you can't, every single week you got to do something. Okay? Carve out time for introspection. Just sit, think, all right? Meditate. Get spiritual. Number 5, travel. Oh my God, do I like to travel. Now it's hard sometimes. I don't get as much time to travel these much with kids, these much these days with kids these days. You know, I'm a professional speaker. Yes, you should hire me sometime. Anyway, yeah, I don't have as much time as I'd like to, but I still make sure I travel every single year. And I'm always amazed at the kinds of places people travel to. They always take such easy travel experiences, and there's nothing wrong with the resort in Cuba or Mexico. And there's nothing wrong with doing the classic backpacking trip through Europe. Those are all great, and then I've done those things. But I encourage you to push yourself to travel in ways that you've never traveled before if you haven't done that before. And that means going off the beaten path, going into certain places that might scare you, going to some places that might be a little bit dangerous. Obviously, you need to be careful, but I always look for new places to go to that are going to push my limits. And when I go there, I come back as a better person, as a better father, as a better friend. I come back as a better citizen of my country because that area that I've gone to, that part of the world that I've experienced, it's given me a reference point that I just didn't have before. So my big trip that I'm trying to do this summer is going to be off to Egypt and Israel. And if not there, I might go down to South Africa. But these are places I haven't been to. Some places, some people might consider these places slightly dangerous. I personally don't really when you think about the world we live in. But a lot of people do. And so just push yourself to go, just to travel further, just to go out there and just to live your life a bit more. I don't understand. I don't get why people just don't travel. I don't get why they don't go off the beaten path. It's amazing. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. And the experience is amazing. So that's something I'm for sure going to keep doing in 2018 because I just get so much from it. Number 6. All right. I'm going to continue engaging in art in 2018. Art for me has been such a big blessing. I've written a couple of musicals, I've written all kinds of songs, I've written all kinds of poetry, and I've written short plays and you name it. And I've always found that when I engage in art, now you don't have to produce art in order to engage in art. You can go out and look at art. You can watch a theater show. You can watch a concert. You can watch a dance production, whatever it might be. You can engage in art however you want, whether it's you creating it or it's whether you experiencing it and watching it. But engaging in art is so beneficial. It really does open your mind. It really makes you see things differently. It allows you to relax. It allows you to really just go inward, and in a way that I don't think reality television can do for you, or a way that maybe fashion can do for you, or your job can do for you, or even your own partner or your kids or your friends. Art does something to us, and that's something that changes the way that we float through life. It changes the way that we walk through this beautiful planet. And I'm amazed at how many people I meet who will say they haven't seen a theater production in ever, or 5 years, or they haven't seen a dance production, or they haven't watched a symphony or an opera, or even just gone to an art gallery and walked around a gallery and looked at paintings. And they wonder why they don't have a whole lot of excitement in their life, a lot of joy in their life. Art is one easy way to be happy. So engage in art. Number 7. Make time. For those of you, by the way, who are lip syncing here, I'm lip syncing. Actually, I'm lip syncing my entire presentation. It's a presentation, not even a vlog. Apparently, I'm doing a speech. Wow. Let's get back on track. The reason I said that lip syncing thing is because I'm doing this. And so if you're reading my lips and you're not actually listening, we're on number 7. Okay, so I could stop recording that right now. I could do a retake. I'm not gonna. Okay. Number 7. I'm going to make sure that I keep laughing. Oh, it breaks my heart when I meet people who haven't laughed from the belly for so long, and they don't think that they can. Maybe they think that, well, my friends aren't funny enough, or I'm not funny enough. And you don't need to be surrounded by friends who are funny in order to laugh. You don't have to be going through really goofy situations. Go out and watch a comedy show, or watch something on Netflix that makes you laugh, or I don't know, look in the mirror and just like make some funny faces. It'll make you laugh. Read jokes on the internet. I don't care what it takes. You gotta laugh. And to me, it's nothing is sadder than to meet people who go an entire year and they don't really even laugh that much. And they wonder why they're not feeling the level of joy they want to feel. Laugh. Make time for it. The 8th thing I'm going to do, and to keep doing as I've always done, is take time for nature. Once again, like laughter, I'm amazed that people don't take time for nature and just simple walks in nature. I try to go every weekend if I can, or every second weekend, usually with my family. But you've heard this. God, you've heard this. You've read this in articles. You've seen it on Huffington Post, I'm sure, 50 times, or you've read it in magazines. Taking time in nature. Here's what it does for your circadian rhythm. Here's what it does for your blood flow. Here's what it does for your mental stimulation. Here's what it does for your lower blood pressure. Here's what it does for the way that your organs work. You know, every positive thing you can possibly think of comes from being in nature. Everyone's like, yeah, you know what? I'll get around to that later. It's like you almost want to die. It's like you don't care about your life. Get out there in nature. My God, hug a bloody tree already. They're amazing. You know what? They're pretty amazing if you actually think about what it takes for a tree to grow. Then the function it does. Then the way it takes CO2 out of the air, produces oxygen. I mean, like, what do you need? It's amazing. Get out in nature. Number 9. Now this is a big one. Okay, I'm going to continue, even though it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to continue taking risks. Right now, I can tell you there's some financial investments that I'm getting involved with that are definitely not your typical mutual fund. They are risky investments, but I think it could have a big payoff down the line, and it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable to take large amounts of money and do that, but it's a risk, and I'm willing to do it. Another risk I'm taking is I'm hiring somebody new for my company. I don't know how it's going to work out. They might be really great in the interview and then be really crappy later on, which is going to cost me a lot of money and a lot of time. But what else am I going to do if I want to grow my business, if I want to grow my life? So I'll be taking that risk. Certain travel risks I'll be taking. Certain risks of conversations that I have to have with certain people that are uncomfortable or difficult or tough conversations to have. I know I'm going to be having those, and on and on and on. If you haven't taken a risk in a long time, or if you haven't put yourself into an uncomfortable situation, well, no offense, but you're not living your life. You're really not living life in a way that is fulfilling. So that's something I for sure will continue doing in 2018. It's not something new that I've thought of doing. It's something that has always worked for me. Okay, I've taken risks and I've lost money. I've taken risks and I've been burned. But consistently, by taking risks, I have noticed that I win more than I lose. Take a risk. Last but not least, number 10, we love our top 10 lists, don't we? And I love them too, so let's keep on going here. The last thing that I am... Whoa! I'm coming back up. I just shrunk. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a surgery that's going to help me put my legs back on my body. All right, let's bring the chair back up. I love it. I just hit the lever under my chair. That was so fun. I'm definitely going to do that again after I get off this video. I'll probably take my shirt off, though. It's way more fun for me to do it that way. The number 10 is something I'm going to keep on doing in 2018 as I'm going to keep moving. And not moving from house to house or apartment to apartment. I'm actually just going to keep on moving forward. Not just mentally, but physically as well. Movement. Just think about that. Movement. Doing this. That's a movement, right? Jogging. It's a movement. Starting a company. It's a movement. Walking up to somebody in the street and introducing yourself to someone you think's attractive. It's a movement. And I find that a lot of people don't move because they need to know what the result's going to be. They don't go to the gym because they don't know whether or not it's actually going to work, whether or not they're going to get bigger muscles or whether or not they're going to lose weight, right? It's not a guarantee for them. Maybe my body type doesn't lose weight when they go to the gym, whatever the thing they put in their head, and so they don't make that movement. They don't start that company. They don't quit that job. They don't leave that relationship. They don't move away or towards something because they don't know, well, is it a guarantee that if I leave this relationship that great things are going to happen for me? No, it's not a guarantee, so I won't. Or if I leave this job, can I be sure that I'm going to have a better job in the future? No, you don't. And so they don't move. And I find that a lot of people that I meet as I travel across the world as a speaker, they aren't really leading fulfilling lives because they're just too afraid to make a movement in some direction. And some of you have heard me say this before. I've always said to people, start anywhere because anywhere is a place and anywhere will lead you everywhere. And the one thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur and as a speaker and as a parent and as, you know, an artist or just a human being is that when you just move in a direction towards something without knowing what the result's going to be, something happens. There's some sort of weird, like, universal energy that happens where you put it out there and you'll get this phone call out of the blue, or you'll get this opportunity, or you'll just have a change that will happen in your life. But you gotta move. You can't sit where you are. You gotta go somewhere. You gotta go to that club. You gotta go to that organization. You gotta go to that networking event. You've gotta go to the bank and open up a new bank account for your new company, whatever it is. But just movement. And then once you've done that thing, you do something else. You just keep moving, and you'll find that you move to something great. And that's what I'll be doing for sure in 2018. I will be moving and moving and moving with my physical body and with my mental body. And I know that will lead me to something spectacular. So hopefully you like that list. Those are things that I'm going to do in 2018 to keep doing. I found that they've worked for me very well in the past, so why stop now? And hopefully there's something in there that resonates with you. I find that if you just do it, you'll have an impact on your life, and that's, to me, a cool thing. And that's the reason why I do these videos. So if you like them, share them with somebody else, share it with your family, talk about it with somebody, and see where it takes you. Lots of love. Have an amazing 2018. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.